The suspense is killing me.
Go, go, Power Rangers!
Hi everyone, I'm Nina Kaskar, or Miss Scarlet in the Study, and welcome to episode 9 of Blinded by Nostalgia. This is the series where I take childhood TV shows, movies, and games and review them as an adult and as unbiased by time and nostalgia as I possibly can. I would like to thank Thomas for suggesting today's topic, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Specifically, Season 1, Episodes 17 through 21, titled Green with Evil, Parts 1 through 5. Before watching these episodes this past week, I had not seen anything Power Rangers related, nor had I had any knowledge of the franchise at all. I am so glad that these were the episodes that were suggested to me because I always feel a little bit of worry when I try to jump in blind to a show that has such a large history like Power Rangers. And I love that I could just jump into the story and know what was going on and have everything kind of explained to me within the first episode. Yes, part 1 was a little rough for me, but by the time I got to part 2, I knew all the character names and I had a good idea of everyone's motivations. So if you're like me and had never seen Power Rangers before, I highly recommend these episodes as a good, easy way in to see if you like the show. Anyways, I'm going to get into the review and decide whether the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fans are blinded by nostalgia or not.
Go, go, Power Rangers!
So, I'm not gonna lie, watching the opening sequence for the very first time was wild. I knew the show was gonna be a little dated, but dang, I was not expecting how ridiculously 90s the first 2 minutes of the show was gonna be. After the title sequence, we find Jason about to fight some dude that is 10 times hotter than he is at the Martial Arts Expo. I am so glad that the scene is right at the beginning of the episode because the fight choreography immediately caught my attention and it stopped all my groaning from the dated opening effects. I thought at that moment that even if the rest of the fight sequences in the show has some stupidly outrageous special effects, I would be happy knowing that there is some good fight choreo in there. After the fight, Kimberly and Trini confirm my belief that Tommy is way too cool for school. This kicks off the establishment of these characters and the real-life high school part of their lives. Yes, we all know they are kick-ass, well-trained heroes, but I really like that I got a sense of who they are in their regular school lives before it just got to straight fight sequences. I guess I just never thought that the Power Rangers would have this fun double-life high school teen aspect to it, and I was pleasantly surprised. Like I said, I had no prior knowledge of any of these characters or the general plot of the show, so I was really excited to see something that brought me back to shows that I watched as a kid, like Kim Possible or Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It really does set up a good balance for a younger and non-gender specific audience. This episode is used as a setup for the following 4 episodes. It shows the most badass woman, Rita, plotting to take hot boy Tommy here to destroy the Rangers. She sends these putty Clayman things to fight him, which again, amazing choreography. Yes, they don't look as cool as I would like them to, but who's even looking at them anyway when you got Tommy right there? After being zapped into space, Tommy gets turned into the Green Ranger and, by the way, is still looking like a snack. The Rangers are paged on their not at all dated communicator watches by Alpha, and they take their car to the command center. Now honestly, I thought the car was pretty dope until I realized it flies. I laughed so hard at this transition right here.
Can't this thing go any faster, Billy? All right.
I was not prepared for the portion of this show that I am about to address. From the second they said, "It's Morphin time," all the way through that sequence, I felt like a kid. Not even that, I felt like a cool kid. I totally get it now. I get why everyone talks about Power Rangers with such fondness. I get it. That was freaking cool. Tommy and the Rangers fight, and again, I cannot get over how good this fight choreography is for a kids show. Rita's reaction right here was me the entire fight.
Go, go, Power Rangers!
After a very scary to-be-continued scene, I went straight into the next episode. I love that I can do that. I can't even imagine waiting for the next episode. They're so short, I don't understand why they didn't just release it as a mini movie. Anyways, so poor Alpha has a virus, so Trini and Billy try to fix him. Or I guess Billy does all the work while Trini sits back and says, "Can you fix it, Billy?" a bunch of times as if that's gonna help. Also, there is no way on any planet, in any dimension, in any weirdo scenario that Billy is in high school. That is a full adult man right there, and I shall refer to him as Papa Billy for the rest of the episode. Anyway, Rita plans to give Tommy the Sword of Darkness. Could they not think of a better name? Anyway, it's supposed to have this amazing power that I will express my disappointment in just a second. Zack and Jason are training in the gym and have a heartfelt conversation about who the Green Ranger could possibly be.
I can't get him off my mind.
Me too, Jason. Me too.
They said I'd like to get my hands on this guy.
Me too, Jason. Me too. Tommy, for whatever reason, thinks it's acceptable to show up to school in this full green outfit featuring that mesh tank. Come on, Tommy, I was rooting for you! He then has the weirdest exchange with Kimberly that ends in her saying,
Well, excuse me for living.
which honestly still cracks me up. I watched these episodes 2 times through, and it may be the funniest line delivery in all of the episodes. Instead of giving Tommy the Sword of Darkness, Rita makes him fight more putties for it, which honestly seems like a whole lot more work, but you do you, girl. I actually really didn't like this fight. I was really enjoying the fighting and cool martial arts moves, and then the weird edits and definitely not cool kicks in this scene were a little disappointing after I was starting to look forward to fight sequences. And I really don't like this crotch move. It comes up in later episodes too, and it's just too much. Back at school, Tommy and Jason have a weird interaction, and I think what makes it weirder is that they are both fully decked out in their respective ranger colors. Like, are you even trying to hide that you're a Power Ranger? Kimberly, Trini, and Zack look relatively normal for the 90s, and they creatively incorporate their colors into their outfits, which is great from an audience, especially a younger audience's perspective, so that you can keep track of the characters. Even Papa Billy's rocking some very normal blue overalls. And Jason literally mentions the Green Ranger while talking to Tommy, who is acting weird, is really good at fighting, and oh yeah, is dressed head to toe in green. Jason is transported to a cage with this dude, Goldar. I can get past certain effects, I can get past awkward dialogue, but this man right here is not cool. Question for you fans who watched this as a kid, was he ever cool? I don't know, I just didn't get it, and I just wanted to give him a cough drop. The Rangers go fight Tommy again, this time without Jason, and Tommy gets to use the Sword of Darkness, which I was super excited about until all it did was this.
Feel the power from the Sword of Darkness!
Does it just create a baby explosion? Was that the power I was waiting for all along? I don't know. The sword's power is just as disappointing as its name.
Go, go, Power Rangers!
Part 3 picks up with Goldar and Jason fighting in their cage, and yep, Goldar is still not cool. The rest of the team is still trying to fix Zordon's signal, and it's episode 3 and I still have not seen this character yet. The Rangers decide to split up to go find Jason. I've been watching all of this unfold so far, and I don't even know where Jason is at this point. So I'm calling it here. Jason's stuck in the cage forever with Goldar. They grow old together. The end. Kimberly runs into Tommy and they have yet another amazingly awkward exchange. Zack interrupts and asks about moody Tommy's attitude, and Kimberly just says,
I wish I knew.
oh man, if only there was a way that all of these coincidences connected together to give you the answer to solve all of your problems. Rita uses what can only be the best telescope in the universe to find Kimberly and Zack, and she sends more putties after them. Honestly, I love Rita. She's great. She's getting stuff done. A real girl boss. But why does she not have anything else to threaten them with? The putty costumes are probably my least favorite to look at, and this specific fight looks like it was put in just to add to the runtime. After the fight, Kimberly and Zack are sure that something is definitely up because the putties did not attack Tommy. I can only hope that the wheels in their heads are finally beginning to turn. Back at Command Center, Papa Billy finally fixes the communicator. It only took him 2.5 episodes. Proud of you, Bill. My dreams came true and Goldar was replaced with Tommy in the cage with Jason. The jumps and kicks are so impressive that I almost wish the whole episode was just Tommy and Jason fighting and smack-talking each other. Eventually the Rangers are able to teleport Jason back to the command center and then they get to reflect on what they've learned so far. At this point, I'm genuinely invested in this story. The fact that no one knows who the Green Ranger is had me on the edge of my seat. In all seriousness, this is actually the episode where I realized I was genuinely enjoying myself watching this show. Back to the story, there's yet another scene of the Rangers very slowly connecting the dots that Tommy's the Green Ranger, only to dismiss it as, that's weird. Guess what? It's Morphin time, and guess what else? It's more putties. We get it. Fast forward to Tommy doing kicks alone in his cage. I can just imagine it now. It's 1993. You're 8 years old, and you're doing this in your living room. And I don't blame you. I may or may not have done this when I was home alone. It is satisfying.
Go, go, Power Rangers!
After another to be continued, Tommy is found still solo fighting in his cage. Live your best life, Tommy, I support you. And while all that's going on, Papa Billy has this intense wire swapping montage so that the Rangers can morph again. Props to Papa Billy for doing all of this with everyone right over his shoulders saying,
You can do it, Billy. I know it. Come on, Billy.
Anyway, it's finally Morphin time. While the Rangers are off fighting, Tommy straight up murders Alpha. Just kidding, he's totally fine, but I did feel at this point that the story was just going in circles and poor Papa Billy had to keep fixing stuff, and I just wanted them to find out who the Green Ranger is so that they could just save the day. There's a scene with Bulk and Skull on a bus. Oh hey, I haven't even talked about them yet. They add to the humor and the high school aspect of the show, which I really love. Anyway, they get on this bus that then becomes Goldar's toy and they have to get rescued by the Rangers, who, by the way, really took their time before doing anything to help. So Tommy's in the command center, he attacks Alpha, and Alpha decides to be useful for once and puts Tommy in a force field bubble. Now, there was a lot going on in this Ranger Scorpion monster fight that I can't even find out a logical way to recap and review it. It solidified my thought that this episode didn't really fit in with the feel of the previous three that I just watched. The story started to drag and I just wanted a conclusion at this point. This could easily have been wrapped up in this episode instead of making it a 5-episode saga. Just before Alpha is about to be even more useful and finally reveal the identity of the Green Ranger, Tommy is teleported out of the command center. How will I ever go on not knowing the true identity of the Ranger? After the Rangers battle, they return to the command center and they finally figure out who the Green Ranger is, and then we are hit with the most intense to be continued yet.
Go, go, Power Rangers!
Part 5 opens with everyone in disbelief that Tommy is the Green Ranger, saying,
There's gotta be a mistake.
clearly, no one that good-looking and moody could ever be the same as the good-looking and moody Ranger they've been fighting this whole time. While Rita's having her evil cocktail party, Kimberly finds Tommy working out in the middle of the juice bar / arcade place. I really haven't been able to figure out what this place is even after 2 viewings. And we get another awkward conversation between them. I joke about these conversations, but they were my most memorable moments from all of these episodes. Kimberly catches up with the Rangers and tells them that Tommy knew who they were the whole time. Tommy knew about all of them. And the 5 of them combined couldn't figure out who the Green Ranger was. In our final Morphin battle of the saga, Tommy rocks a flute sword, which automatically makes him cooler than everyone else. Alpha pushes like 5 buttons and gets Zordon signal back, and the Rangers get all their Zords back so that they can fight. I think this battle looks the most dated out of all of them. This does not mean that I didn't enjoy every single second of it. I think the Dragon Zord and Megazord really threw me for a second because I almost forgot how old some of the show looks. The fight ends, the spell is broken, and Tommy is invited to join the Power Rangers team. The prophecy is fulfilled and we get one more Morphin montage, this time with Tommy in it. I thought it was really cool that the show could introduce a main character in the middle of a season, and that they could focus on Tommy's arc over 5 episodes so that it gives him a good introduction to the team. And of course, what better way to end the final episode than with a jump freeze frame? Perfection. Now, it's decision time. Are fans of this 5-episode saga of Power Ranger awesomeness blinded by nostalgia? No. I thoroughly enjoyed watching these episodes, and while I think some of the effects don't hold up, the characters' storyline and fight sequences make up for it. On top of that, Power Rangers is still relevant. They still make new episodes, and there are so many different generations of Power Rangers fans. As someone who went into this with no prior knowledge or even interest in Power Rangers and ended up liking it as much as I did, is proof that this show is well put together and can still be enjoyable today. So there you go. You're not blinded by nostalgia. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit subscribe. I put out a new video every week and you don't want to miss out on the rest of the Blinded by Nostalgia series. Also, if you have a favorite TV show, movie, or game from your childhood, leave it in the comments for me and I might do an episode on whether you are blinded by nostalgia or not. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, my lovely people, and I will see you next week.
A new chapter has begun, Rangers. Let the power protect you.